Hello.
Hi, Victor.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Uh,
Hi.
how are you today?
I'm doing well.
What time is it for you?
It's now 2 p.m.
2 p.m. Okay, so you're
Yeah.
2 hours ahead of me. It's
Yeah.
12 here. I'm in Portugal, so it's the same time as London.
Ah, I think it's now the second time that we meet.
Sorry, I was just putting some tea on. Yeah, so thank you for, I don't know how we connected initially, but then I saw you invited me to your project. Are you there? Ah, yeah, you're just, I was wondering whether the internet or cut out or you're just sitting very still. So, yeah, and you connected about your project, and I'm really interested in everybody that's working in building ecosystems of entrepreneurship. So, and especially, I have a lot of connections in Europe, in North America, a little bit in South America and Asia, but very little in Africa. Uh, I
Mm.
lived my, I've lived in Europe, in Canada, I lived in Japan a long time. So that's kind of the part of the world of the globe that I know, but Africa hasn't been part of my life until now. Other than Morocco and South Africa, I've never been, but it's such, yeah, I mean, there is so much. So I'm curious and I'm always excited now when I can connect to people doing interesting things in Africa. So I thought it'd be nice to have a conversation.
Yeah, sure. That's amazing. Yeah. Um. Yeah. As I say, that's it's my second time to meet. I think the first time you invite me to an event, tribe, I don't know, gathering. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
But yeah. But I didn't able to make it. Due to my financial health, I had to travel to Portugal.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
mean, I know that most the people internationally that I invited, I knew that many are not able to come, but still, it's as a way of introduction and of getting you to think about it. And actually, the gathering now is going global. So we're inviting people, opening the format, inviting people around the world to organize.
Mm.
So for me, the intention was, of course, to invite you, but I didn't expect you'd be able to come. But I wanted you to know about what we're doing and make the connection. And already now, when we have a conversation, it's not the first time we've touched to each other.
Yeah. So I'm Paulinho. So let me reintroduce myself.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm Paulinho, and I'm originally from Congo, and here I'm living here in Uganda as a refugee. So I fled my country since 2008, 17, and become a refugee here due to conflict that is happening in my country. Um, as a young and youth person, so I've been able to get a scholarship on Africa idea for Africa, learn about entrepreneurship, and then I started my refugee-led organization. That could enable me to let it go what I've been able to pass through the atrocity and that I've been passing through my home country. So this space, I created this space to reconnect with other young people who also face the same problem that I faced, and also change this bad experience to something positive that also could enable other people to let it go and start a new chapter of their life. And mostly this is always, you cannot really understand that you have lost everything until that you leave this space. when you reach this space is when you realize that, wow, so I've lost everything, dream, my life, uh, people that have been I grew up with, so everything. And this, it's always hard for most of young people to understand. And we are going to realize that most of people are fall into alcohol, and so life is completely destroyed. So this space have been conceived to enable people to move in this such a hard period, and connect yourself on something important that can impact your life, and also impact yourself and other people's lives that you are surrounding here in the refugee settlements. So with time, so we have started with entrepreneurship. After learning about entrepreneurship, so I decided also to implement such of model here in refugee settlements. And we have set as a mission to empower young refugees through inclusive entrepreneurship to enable them create their own opportunities. But when the COVID came, and there have been a shortcut of humanitarian aid, and most of people who have been relying on World Food Program, so it was really chaotic. And this is where we started practicing also regenerative agriculture to enable ourselves to improve livelihood and be self-reliant, and shift this independence on humanitarian aid as the refugees. So we then decided to take the entrepreneurship session, focus only on women, and empower them to be self-reliant, and of course being contribute to enable them to contribute to local economy and be self-independent financially. So something like that, because you're going to realize that almost 75% of refugee here in Nagi Valley so are women and children. So, and women are the most vulnerable here. So we understand that so if we empower women, so I think that this can be also a great impact in their household. Um, and for the regenerative agriculture, so we have a holistic approach that is focusing from the soil. We prioritize the soil because we understand that if we will be able to make the soil health, so in return we can get a productive and a yield which is really productive, and also this will enable us to respond on food insecurity, which is here in the refugee settlements. So these are holistic approaches, or how do we start for healing the soil? So we collect or we recycle food waste from different markets and household in the community, and then decompose it with earthworms that with a certain period of 3 months. So the earthworms, after decomposition of this food waste, we get an organic fertilizer that we distribute to farmers who have been involving in food recycling to apply in their gardens. But alongside this solution, so we have realized that this cannot really giving us or enable the crops to grow health, seeing the unpredictable climate change that is making farmers to be vulnerable here. So we have come up with an additional idea of setting up microfood forests that enable us to restore biodiversity, but also enable the with an addition of this vermicompost. So we enable farmer to practice to densify their agricultural input. So this is a little bit about what we have been up to. And in terms of entrepreneurship on women, so they have also come up with different initiatives like mushroom production, planting moringa trees. So there is a campaign of tree planting. So they have been focusing only on moringa because it's quite really a nutrient plant that enable most of people here to purify water to add as a ingredient in the food. So something like that. And another thing is organic soap making that people these women also are producing. So using, of course, these plants like moringa that enable them to produce this organic soap. Another one is about the menstrual health. That's we call a women circle. So the women circle is consisting of putting together women and teaching them, not only focusing on supplying the menstrual health kits, but also teaching them on how to maintain their body, what the precaution in terms of for a woman that who is breastfeeding, a breastfeeding program. That's also come to so mean that almost our projects are interconnected, because so you are going to realize that due to the food insecurity, this has also affected children with malnutrition. So the mushroom projects also come to also come as a solution to respond onto this breastfeeding program that we have started. Yeah, thank you. I'm talking so much.
Nice, amazing. So, what are the languages that people speak in the camp?
Yeah, Nakiva refugee settlements are quite diversified with people and of course with language as well. So the most commonly language that is most of people can speak is Kiswahili. So Somalis can speak Kiswahili, Burundians can speak Swahili, Rwandans can speak Kiswahili, and Congolese as well. But here at Unidos, we sometimes we facilitate uh, session in English and then translate them in the local language. For example, you may reach in the community where they don't know Swahili, but they only know the mother language. For example, Rwanda or Kirundi. So in our team, there is also a diversity of people coming from different countries, and we take someone who knows the language better and could translate the session in the language where that the community is understanding well.
Amazing. Cool. And when you teach people or when you're looking at entrepreneurship, I mean, first of all, how is access to electricity and internet?
So in the refugee camp, there is electricity. There is also access to internet.
But is it,
Although not,
is it reliable? How is it?
yeah, it's reliable, but it depends on for example, for internet, it depends on the bundles that you need to buy for your internet to be mostly reliable. And for electricity, yeah, there are some parts which are not reliable at all, and there are parts where the electricity is quite reliable.
Okay. And when you're teaching people entrepreneurship, have you done or considered teaching people to work online?
Not yet, because we have been there is we had this idea, but we have been limited with the internet costs and devices as well.
So the limitation is internet costs and devices.
Yeah.
Cool. And do you work, what kind of international organizations do you work with, and how do you work with them?
So, for example, with the international organization that we have ever working in 2023 and 2024, we have been working with UNCR, and through their grants of refugee-led innovation funds. So we have been able to be selected as grantee in 2023, and we have been working to teach refugee, mostly farmer, in regenerative agriculture and holistic soil management to improve their production. So mostly this has been the organization that we have been working with. There are also Reliance. So we also get a grant in terms of setting up this vermicomposts to make sure that we produce more compost that can be distributed to farmer, and also introduced a cost benefit analysis of the vermicompost for people who want to commercialize this. And for example, we work also with Defiance. So it's a cryptocurrency organization that has been one of our seed donors.
Say
And
again, what's the name of the organization?
it's Defiance.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have been one of our seed founders. They help us to set up the first construction of where we have been conducting our session, and yeah, paying some admin costs for our organization.
Cool.
So, but from that other organization, maybe we have won almost 3 awards. So the Social Impact Awards in Vienna, the Lush Spring Prize. We also won last year the Ogden International Prize, and this year I have been nominated for the If Short Prize. Yeah.
Amazing. Congratulations. And do you have a team doing your social media, doing outreach with all of this stuff, or how do you do your communications?
So we have a website. We have also some social media. We are in LinkedIn. We are in Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Not
Yeah,
actively.
but my question was, do you have a team working, communicating about your project?
And do you ask about a team?
Yes, in your team, do you have somebody that's like doing social media? Do you do it regularly? Because these awards, this is great. That's great publicity. So I'm just wondering if you have the team to put that out into the world.
Yeah, so of course we have a local team, which there are people who are in charge of generating content, other permaculture facilitators, others program who are in charge of program management. So these are local team. There are also some volunteer outside who are strategic advisor, who are helping us in terms of fundraising and also networking, and also writing proposals, something like that.
Mm. Uh, cool. So, first of all, I wanted to ask, what are the possibilities to go and volunteer? Do you have a program or for people like me who would like to come and help on the ground?
Yeah, so I think we always been we have, of course, different programs that are going on. So based on what the list of the projects that I've explained before. So if you want to volunteer, I can just give you as I've already give you a short update on the project that are running. It's for you to look on what is really connected on values and also the passion that you're having. So from this, and then we can choose or we can set up a program if it is not yet around, but we can have a exact date of okay, we are planning about this program that can be implemented on this date, and if you can be part of people who will be running about or work on this program. For example, so permaculture courses. So we have almost a list of permaculture courses that we need to implement. We need to implement along there, but all this are always depending on the funding that we are having. So once we have the funds, we tag a number of people that we need to train and what we will be providing and as a practice. So we have different uh, food forests demo sites that we are currently developing, co-creating. And so if there's something that you like, so you can also be part of this in terms of creating food forests in Kivale.
Well, I'll tell you, my interest is more in so I guess three things that I
Mm.
think I could be of use. And it's not permaculture and it's not digging. It would be strategy of how to connect with international organizations, communication strategy, communications and outreach.
Mm.
And then if there is room for setting up a program to teach, I think especially youth, how to work online.
Yeah.
Uh, and then how to connect with other organizations around the world and da da da. Those are kind of things where I think I can add most value.
Mm-hmm.
There is also the gathering. I'll send you information about the gathering. Like I said, it's becoming an open format and inviting people around the world, and it could be an interesting event. Do you right now in the camp? Do you have festivals?
Yes.
I guess what every group celebrates its own festivals. How do you do it?
So, for example, in we don't celebrate festival, but for example, in International Women Days, so the last International Women Day, we organized this event with three local organization, refugee organization, and invite different stakeholders, which are working here. For example, UNHCR, district officers, the officers of Prime Minister, to come and see and hear what the change that we are and the impact that we are making in refugee settlements and advocate for the women rights and how inclusively this can be parts can contribute on the local economy here in refugee settlement. So this is kind of the gathering that we do. But another one was about it was on last year when I've been I was in a Watson Institute fellowship. So among the requirements, they told me to organize a base camp where I would invite different people, different stakeholders to imagine a topic that we can talk about that will, of course, enable young farmer or young people to how they can be connected in business, and also different domain sector in different sectors like in agriculture, in and also different aspects of services that are available in the refugee settlement. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. So I guess we'll publish this conversation, so we'll include the links to the project. And what are your needs? What are is your hopes of how people, I mean, especially people from outside of the camp can support you?
So in refugee settlements, there is quite an amazing people, creative people who have vision and tangible impacts to of course to reach a small number of people. But if these people can get access to funding, they can scale their solution to impact a big number of refugee settlements, especially in these moments where people desperately need assistance, and not only humanitarian assistance, but a different way of empower them to take control on their life, empower them to be self-reliant and shift this dependency uh, on humanitarian aid. So I think funding is our first need, and getting to adequate resources that will enable these people to put in action their amazing idea and impact, if not million of people, but hundred of people.
And are you in conversation with other refugee camps and projects in other camps?
Yeah, exactly. So I've worked in Kiangwale refugee settlement under Care International projects that have been there to implement food forest, something like that. And I'm in communication with some colleagues in Chaka refugee settlement. So yeah, so I'm in I have connection in different refugee settlements in Uganda.
And so so I guess you went to the other ones to share your projects, or do you talk with them regularly? How do you make the connection work?
So we the first in Chaka, I went there to explore how other refugees are living. Uh, I was curious to know about how other people are promoting self-reliance in refugee settlements, apart from Nakivale refugee settlement. And I went to Chaka and talked to different group of refugee settlements, entrepreneurs, and how they are doing in their settlement. Yeah, so I found that there is a common needs which I found is accessibility to funds, but also trusts in giving refugee-led organization
But
large
also what? I didn't catch the word. You said one
the
fund and
yeah,
also
trusts.
trust. Okay, tell me
Yeah,
more about that.
yeah. So the trust in terms of giving accessibility to funds to refugee-led organization. just because they are not sure about their capacity in terms of managing these funds. So
Okay.
this
So do I
is
understand correctly that what you're saying is the money doesn't go to refugee-led organizations, it runs to the international ones because the
yeah,
donors aren't sure, don't know how to trust the local organizations.
yeah,
Cool. See, this is exactly the kind of thing that I wanted to learn because in the back of my mind, so some of the things that I work on, or the key thing that I'm working on now is a research process slash online decentralized conference around software for collaboration and coordination, how to use AI, how to use Web3 to solve questions like this, for example, right? Because clearly both sides are right. Of course, refugee-led organizations want money, and of course, funders don't know how to. It's such a different world. So of course, they don't know how to evaluate them, right? They sit somewhere in Switzerland, give out billions, and rely on these organizations. But how do we? How this is the question in the back of my mind. How can we build technology that bridges this trust bridge? So that money can flow with less middlemen directly to the people that are working. That's kind of the question in the back of my mind. That's why I wanted to talk with you. I would love to spend time with you if it becomes possible, because I'm thinking of what is the software that we need? By the way, what's the penetration of smartphones in the refugee camps? How many people have a smartphone?
I think out of 5 people, 2 people can have a smartphone.
2 out of 5.
Yeah,
Okay, it's still a lot. It's one per family, right?
yeah,
Yeah. I ask because it opens up the portal to a lot of possible services if people do have access to it.
yeah,
Great. So trust. We need to figure out how to bridge the trust.
yeah, exactly.
And
Because you are going to realize that the money that is allocated for the international organization and the money that is allocated for refugee-led organization, there is a big gap, uh, and it's quite really ridiculous to see all this. But what also I've understood is most of refugees organization, of course, they have skills and experience. They have experience and passion, but they don't have skills in terms of, for example, accountability or record keeping or evaluation and monitoring. So all these are the skills that people are lacking refugee settlement. And when a donor or an investor come to you and ask you how are you going to monitor the project impact that we need to, you feel like this is something new. You see, so how are we going to transparently track all the expenses that will be used for a project execution? So this is puts also some doubt because you are going to realize that there are areas where it's hard to get, for example, a receipt. You can buy something, but you will never get a receipt for these things.
right.
So another things is uh, a procurement process of items. So this is something that also I learned when we have been working with UNCR. So you need to determine why you choose this supplier to be your supplier. So you need to make sure that there is a procurement system that is existing in your organization to make sure that uh, there is to show that you have reached at
The
least
one hand,
three.
which on the one hand makes sense. On the other hand, if I need a plumber and my uncle is a plumber and it's $10, just use your fucking uncle, right?
Yeah. So you are going to realize that all this depend on the donor, of course, because we have been able to work with different donors, and you are going to realize that, for example, for Defiance, for them, they don't need any report or asking why you did this. No, they only need at the end of the year, I sent a refund report of how I've used the money, and it's enough. But for other people, they want to know in details how you did this, how you do this, how you choose this, how you have used this money, how you, so many details. And yeah, I understand it's they want to add another side. They are training us to be adapted to every kind of person that we can work with. Yeah.
So, is this conversation interesting, by the way?
Sorry?
Is this conversation interesting for you, by the way?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Because for me, it's fascinating and I'd love to continue it. So, let me ask some practical things around volunteering. And some of these will be stupid questions, but the standard questions. First of all, when is a good time of the year to come? When is the weather like I don't want to be up to mud, up to my knees in mud every day if that's avoidable. Because I know.
Yeah, so the weather is unpredictable here in Uganda. But from January up to March, it's a good time.
Okay.
From May, June, no, from June, July, and August, it's a good time. And from October to December, it's a good time.
So this means what? This means September is bad.
September, it's rain a lot.
September, okay. September is raining, and then because you had like
Yeah, they also April and May, it's rain.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
And the summer is not much hotter. It's not a big difference, January to July.
No, because I have a friend of mine always come from Portugal, and he always told me that the weather it's quite the same. It's not really
Okay.
hot too much.
And cool. And you have somewhere if we come to volunteer, you have somewhere to stay, right? How
Yeah.
hard is it to get to you from the airport?
So it is. Let me check.
I mean, roughly, is it one day? Is it 3 days? Is it
No, 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 no. It's one day. So,
one day?
cause if we leave at the airport at 10 a.m., we are going to reach into the settlement uh, in the night. But I always prefer to stop by in Barara, a nearby town,
Mm-hmm.
the refugee settlement, to stop by there, to sleep there, and then tomorrow morning we go into the settlement.
Okay. Uh, cool. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. So the question is, what's for most of people, okay, how are you planning or how are you guarantee these people after learning the skills can be able to get to get a job online or
So
uh,
I wouldn't, the way I would organize the program is throughout the program, people build their portfolio and start getting jobs and start communicating. So for me, the program is both skills and the skill how to get and do work online. So I wouldn't do like a month or whatever, learn web. No, no, no. It's like build your portfolio, go online, make a Fiverr profile. So throughout, because I know it's not about teaching people skills, it's about teaching people how to learn and how to get work online.
yeah.
So I think in many ways, and it's not just the skills to do the work, it's knowing how to communicate and work with a customer, right? To respond promptly, da. It's knowing and how to find the work also. Yeah.
Okay, that's great then.
So I would, for example, I think social media is a big part, communications is a big part, and I would get everybody to produce the social media and tell the story as they're learning, right? And build up that way, and then off of that, jump off and start finding work.
That's great
Uh,
because I think that will interest many people here because managing social media is not really uh, for everyone. So more mainly here in our world, most of people, the social media is limited on just communicating between friends and also expressing yourself, what's your thoughts. So this is where social media is limiting.
which is great because expressing yourself is the first step, and the next step is learning how to express it for a company or for a project or for fundraising, etc.
Mm. Yeah.
uh, so I mean, I don't know about older people, but young people, everybody just jumps on it, and then it's just teaching them the next step, how to go from you clicking to you're doing it with intention towards building a career, building a profile, uh, and actually I think some of it, I mean, it's more bigger picture. It will take some planning, but I think some of the verification we could teach the young people to do,
Yeah.
communicating what's happening with a project and documenting progress, right?
Mm.
Uh, so I think maybe could even get some of the budget from the. Anyways, I mean, I think there's many different ways to think about it, but this has been my dream for a long time. By the way, is there any craftsmanship? Do people? What are do people bring crafts like fabric or wood, or is it not managed to make
So there are, of course, there are painting.
painting?
Do you get? Yeah. These are the most common that I've seen. And this necklace that people put on, so
Hmm.
something like that. But yeah, you will discover so many things that are that are here when you reach out.
Nice. Cool. All right. So I think for today, maybe this is good. I mean, yeah, I would love to. Uh, I'm I'm trying to think. I mean, I will start thinking about this, planning for next year, January, February, so we have time to talk about it. I'm happy, whatever links and such that you have, I'm happy to share. Do you have a strategy document or like an overview? How can I be of service soon now?
Yeah, so I think currently there is initiatives that we want to build. Okay, there are two projects that are running, want to run, and we are looking for potential organization uh, or grants opportunity to apply on that we can get funds. And the first one was about to we want to make sure that we train new refugee arrival who are coming from the from Congo with these two with these two projects. First of all, setting up a demonstration food forests for them, and for other people who will be interested. So can also learn about mushroom. So because food is the first essential needs that most of people are lacking with. So this the second one is kind of emergency. That's a project that we are running currently is about setting up a sanitation unit, so toilets for at least depending on the funding that we can get, but we are targeting at least 100 households to have sanitation because it's really I don't know what the adjective that I can employ to describe the how people really are living currently with the influx of refugee coming from DRC. So, so we are currently looking for different way in terms of fundraising or getting donors who could donate in setting up. Maybe someone can donate for setting up one toilet, but these toilets will be having like a compost toilet that they can use and then use this human feces again in the after 1 year, use it as a manure or fertilizer in their garden.
Mm-hmm.
So we have for this, I have a concept note or proposal that I've already setting up for both of the project. So if I can be able to share with you,
Yeah,
and
please.
I have also the last year reports of the project that we have been working with UNCR. So I think this also I can share it with you. So then maybe the next step. So after passing through all this, so you will tell me, and then we can figure out the next step.
Nice. Wonderful. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the conversation today. I'm
Yeah.
really excited. I mean, I've lived. How old were you when you left your country?
So now I'm 30. So, but in December I'll be 31, and I reached here in 2017. So, which means I've spent over now 37. I was, I mean that I was 25, 24 years.
Okay, so as an adult, I left my country of birth when I was 9 years old. Not as a refugee, we immigrated, but still, uh, I know the trauma of separation. It's not, of course, I am not saying it's as tough because we moved, but still, I mean, psychologically, I understand a bit about being separated from the place you were born, and then we moved again, and then I moved again. So in some ways, and yeah, I mean, I would love to. see how the things I've learned over the years can be useful in your context, in your environment as well.
Yeah.
And
Thank you so much.
I'll share you, just for interest, I would love your feedback on the gathering and to see whether a festival like that could make sense in a context like yours or
Okay.
somewhere like that. For example, bringing together organizations from many refugee camps, or bringing together different groups within the thing. I don't know. It's a open format, and I think it's important for people to gather and come together and learn and build relationships. So I'm curious if and in what interpretation it might make sense in your context.
Yeah, sure. So I think we can brainstorm together after you learn. Maybe I think from reading our website and these contents, so you get more inclusive ideas of how uh, we are working, and then we can brainstorm together on what aspect or format that this kind of this event or festival can be best organized, and in which context, or and what can we really prioritize as a for example, a topic to bring together all people from different backgrounds.
So actually, the gathering, the way the gathering works, it's more about it's co-created. So it's about who do you bring together, and then it's an invitation for everybody who you bring together to decide what topics should be discussed. So it's a different format. It's not top down, it's bottom up. We decide who do we want to bring together that should be talking more, collaborating, and then everybody thinks and decides what are the topics that should be discussed. Because this is the
Yeah.
idea, is that we get everybody's creativity working, which will be much more creative, and things which emerge which we didn't think about, and so on and so forth. That's the concept of the gathering.
Yeah, it sounds like the best camp that we organized, because the main topic was health soil for a greater food production. But from this, we have been discussing, one organization has discussed on how to prioritize soil health. How another one come up, what the policies that can be adapted for refugee context and for host community or Ugandan community to move forward with regenerative agriculture. So another one come up with what are the most challenging parts of farmer that are passing through. So everyone came up with the idea on this common many topic, and we invited then different sort of people, farmer, business holders, stakeholders, NGOs to come participating into this. So it's not really directly reflecting maybe about the gathering, but there is some similarity.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you. And let's exchange those documents, and I look forward to continuing our conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Victor, for reaching out and for deciding to join our cause. So it really means a lot for us.
Yeah, let's see what we can make happen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.